Welcome in to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue. My name is Landon, and man, oh man, is it good to have Austin back. My co-host, Austin, has been with me since last season, and he took time out of his summer to go serve for the summer. But he's finally back, man, because I've been sitting here talking to myself, Austin, for like, I don't know, 4 months. And I like, admittedly, I don't mind the sound of my own voice, but it's so helpful to be able to hear and like talk to somebody else. So, Austin, are you finally glad to be back? And then also, are you glad the football season's?
Yeah, man, it's just, it's that time. It is that time. I'm so glad to be back. Man, you held down the fort though. You've been killing it, been absolutely killing it on here. But I'm just glad to be a part of this, and I've been really really missing it. And even when I was setting everything up today, I was like, man, this is this feels good. So really glad to get back in the swing of things. We have a huge fall for the podcast, a huge fall for Mississippi State football, and yeah, I'm really really glad. So thanks for letting me come back. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And Austin and I we're still figuring out. You'll see different backgrounds. We're still trying to get figured out like the angles and the backgrounds and microphones and that kind of thing before the fall kicks off, because we're going to 3 episodes per week now that football season is here. If you remember last season, we'd have kind of 2 preview episodes throughout the week, talk about college football, talk about Mississippi State, the SEC, and then kind of a post game show called "What Went Right, What Went Wrong." And so we'll do that same thing this fall. But man, today is a day because look, the thing is, this new SEC show that has come out on Netflix, SEC, what is any given Saturday, has come out and has got everybody, as if everybody else was not already super excited, and now it's like starting back. And at this point, like the season is not far away at all. And so we've gone over a worst case scenario, best case scenario for Mississippi State, but I want to do the same thing with Austin. So we're going to pull up the schedule. We'll look at it. If you're watching on YouTube, I've said before, if you watch on YouTube, the benefit is you get to see different things, like different graphics we have instead of just listening along. The unfortunate thing is you have to see me, but you can see the schedule at least, so that'll be helpful. And so we'll look at that. And look, if the over under for Mississippi State is 3.5, we're going to get Austin's opinion on that. Is that fair? And then also, if State's going to go over that, which again, I even saying that out loud is so embarrassing. If State's going to get 4 wins, where's the 4th win coming from? So all that and more here on this show. But hey, before we get there, we want to let you know that this episode and every episode is presented to you by our presenting sponsor, Heath Riles Barbecue. Heath Riles is home to award-winning rubs, seasonings, glaze, marinades, and much, much more. Created by 2025 Memphis in May Grand Champion and 81-time barbecue Grand Champion Heath Riles. His products are trusted by pit masters and backyard cooks alike. You can get his full lineup at heathrilesbarbecue.com or over 15,000 retailers nationwide. And I'll tell you how much I trust Heath Riles. This weekend, I am cooking 8 racks of ribs for a party on Saturday night, and I am using Heath Riles competition rub on every single one of those bad boys. You cannot go wrong with Heath. And look, if you've never tried Heath's products before, as the season is starting up, and by the way, we're going to have Heath on the show. I believe it's August the 19th. We'll get that on there, but as the season's kicking off. But look, we'll save you some money. Save you 10% off each and every time just by putting in promo code DAWGS10, DAWGS 10 at checkout. Man, sure are thankful for Heath and his family. And also, hey, look, are you looking for your next favorite Mississippi State hat? Well, look no further than HovieDryGoods.com. I'm wearing a Hovie hat. Austin's wearing a Hovie hat. And I mentioned that SEC series. If you look on that show, episode 6 is where Mississippi State is featured. Jeff Levy is wearing a Hovie hat. So get with the program, man. Go to HovieDryGoods.com. Get your next favorite Mississippi State hats. They're high quality headwear that's created with you in mind. You'll have your friends asking about them. They offer limited edition hats in small batches, so it brings a fresh look to some of your favorite teams. Go grab your new favorite hat at HovieDryGoods.com. Want to thank our caffeine sponsor, Arpa's and Coffee Bar in the heart of the Cotton District. Jose and his family, man, they understand what it is like to want to go somewhere, to have a good time, to have kind of a good atmosphere, and have something delicious. And that is what Arpa's is. So we'll save you 15% off each and every time you go there by just letting them know that you are a listener of My Dogs Pod. They'll give you 15% off. You will not regret it. Listen, as the fall comes along, get you something delicious to sip on, and they've got it there at Arpa's. I think they call it the white pecan. It's kind of like Southern pecan roast. and it is delicious coffee, man. It is so, so good. So thank you so much to Jose and his family. Thanks so much for Arpa's there in the heart of the Cotton District. And look, Austin, here's the deal, man. The thing about Jeff Lebby and Mississippi State, and the thing about this team and the trajectory of where they're going, Zach Selman, a lot of people are talking about him going to Oklahoma. And for that to happen, Mississippi State, he has to show that his hire that he made with Jeff Lebby was the right one. He's got to have a good season. If that happens, dude, Zach Selman might prove it. He might be gone to Oklahoma, get a raise. And I'll be honest with you, man, he might even end up becoming rich. But what does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number, more about discovering the magic in life. Skip Langley is your Batesville, Mississippi, Edward Jones financial advisor, serving clients in the area and across the state. Count on him for financial strategies that can help you support a life you love, because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. So contact him today at 662-563-9843, and together you can find your rich. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Austin, I've talked long enough. You are now coming into this fall, and what is your take about, because we've not heard from you about where Mississippi State is nationally. Almost every writer that's posted where they voted at SEC Media Days voted Mississippi State to be dead last. They're kind of almost a mockery in this show, being 2-10 and losing every week, going 0-8 in the SEC. After all the moves in the offseason, going into the fall, like where we are here at the beginning of August, what are your thoughts as we think about August 30th, Mississippi State kicking off against Southern Miss?
I'm really, really excited for kickoff, but it's just a big question mark. And honestly, I think you agree as well. But we are 16th, but I completely agree with it. I'm a Mississippi State fan, always have been. You're a Mississippi State fan, always have been. But we're realists at heart, and we know we've seen a lot of Mississippi State football, and know that this year is just a massive question mark. There is a possibility we go 3-9. But to be honest, just looking at the schedule, I think we're going to double our wins from last year. I don't know about good about it, but there's just so many question marks. I mean, you look at every single position, big question mark, literally every single position other than running back. I would say running back is taken care of. But every other position, a guy from the transfer portal or somebody who is not very proven is coming to fill that role. And so we'll just see how that all goes.
Real quick. What when you said question mark in every position, what do you mean question mark in terms of quarterback? Like in terms of shape and being healthy?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, we don't know the production we're going to get from him. So I mean, Blake Shapen, we'll see how many games he plays. But then again, we're going to see. I mean, he's had a whole year off. He only played 3 or 4 games last year, so he hasn't played a lot of football in the past. The past 2 years. So we'll see how he is. I mean, we don't know what kind of shape he's in. And I just think I'm excited about him. I love Blake Shapen, but I mean, he was our quarterback during that Toledo game. We don't know what Blake Shapen we're getting. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm really, really excited. But yeah, I mean, then again, week by week, we might have another quarterback as our starter. So that's what I mean. Like by question mark, we just don't know. We don't, but with Blake Shapen, we don't know. I mean, maybe halfway through the year, we're just like fat and be like, man, they've got to be somebody better than better with Luke or Kamario Taylor. So yeah, I just think with every position, it's just like, man, I don't know. Like I feel good that Blake Shapen is going to be our quarterback, but do I really know? Wide receiver, I mean, Brendan Thompson, man. I mean, people have been talking good about him, but he really didn't play too much at Oklahoma. It's just every single position has something like that. Tony Mitchell is a guy that I think could be really good, or he could just be a third string safety. So we really, really don't know. And again, with our schedule, just let me know. We're talking about our schedule again. We don't. That's another thing. We have no idea. This Southern Miss game, I was thinking about this last night. This Southern Miss game, we could win by 25 points, and I would believe you. But we could lose by 10 to 17 points, and I would also believe you. Like, it's just, you never know, especially we're going in Hattiesburg for some reason. Really, really weird. But yeah, I'm excited, and I think we're going to improve, especially defensively. How could we not improve? But yeah, I'm excited to see how this year goes. But yeah, I just, I think that the media has it right, but I got us at 4-8.
So we're gonna pull up the schedule and look at that, Austin, kind of go game by game. And I'd love to kind of hear your thoughts as we go down the list, because I did this a couple of weeks ago, and we looked at Mississippi State's schedule for a best case scenario and a worst case scenario. And I think the best case scenario I had, and I mean I'm talking everything working out for Mississippi State, was Mississippi State somehow, like if they were able to go 6-6, I think that's the greatest possible scenario. Like 5-7 as the greatest scenario sounds almost too sad, so I couldn't bring myself to do that. But 6-6 is there. 2-10 I thought was the worst. But Austin, go through this, and you don't have to do best and worst scenario. But you mentioned you think they're going to double their win total. Where is that going to come from?
Yeah, so I do think, I talked about the Southern Miss game. I think we're going to pull it out. I'm really excited about this offense, and I think this offense is going to be really ready to get it going. So I mean, as bad as it sounds, we might get in a dang shootout with Southern Miss, but I think we end up pulling it out because Southern Miss is another team. Southern Miss could be a legit team in their conference, but also they could be very, very bad. So we really don't know with Southern Miss. I'm really, really honestly excited to see what Southern Miss does this year. I mean, you're talking about a brand new team. We have a brand new team. Southern Miss has a brand new team too. We have no idea how they're going to play, but I do think we're going to win. Arizona State, I mean, that's another team. I mean, like being a realist. I always say, I like being right, and that's so true. I'm not picking us to beat Arizona State. We're just not going to do it. Alcorn, man, we better beat Alcorn. There's gonna be some problems. There's gonna be some real problems. So I think that's the two. And then Northern Illinois, I think we pull out. So I think we're gonna start 3-1. I really, really do. I don't know how our fan base is gonna do. If we're even 2-2, if we start 2-2, I don't know how our fan base is gonna do. But 3-4, I feel good about that. And then just SEC play is where it gets dicey. It gets tricky. I think we pull out one though. I really, really do. It's hard to pick out where, but we have games where we play Arkansas, but Missouri's having a down year. We'll see what they're going to do at the quarterback position. But I mean, A&M, I don't think we stand a chance. Texas, I don't think there's a chance there. Georgia, obviously not. Ole Miss, man, I say I mean, we were so bad last year. And we had those boys in a good spot. Michael Van Buren did not play well in that game, had 2 very bad interceptions. And so if we don't have those interceptions, we don't have those turnovers, we don't have Ulysses Bentley running a 94-yard dang touchdown. That was hard. That was rough to be in the building for that. That was so rough. But I think that's another game where we could potentially win. If I had to pick it right now, obviously I would say Ole Miss and Austin Simmons. I think they got the group to beat us for sure. But yeah, I think we're going to pull it out against a team. If I had to pick a team, I would say Arkansas. But we also have a chance, I think, in meet Missouri and potentially Ole Miss.
Man, the team I thought you were going to say in terms of the SEC, you did not say.
Really?
Yeah, I think the best case for Mississippi State to win a conference game is September 27th. Versus Tennessee. Mississippi State has Tennessee at home. Tennessee's got different quarterback issues. I mean, I don't want to say issues. Joey Aguilar could look and be really, really, really good, whatever. But it's not like he's some sort of, crazy star. I thought you were going to say Tennessee as opposed to any of those other ones.
Listen, I think Josh Heupel, he's always had our number while he's been at Tennessee. And, I mean, it's just not. Last year was kind of rough for us. I mean, I think that we played better than I thought we would against Tennessee, but I think that they'll figure it out. I love Josh Heupel. I've criticized him. I've really liked him going into this year, man. With all the Nico stuff, that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. But I think they'll figure it out, man. I mean, Tennessee is a very talented program, and they have a lot more talent than just the quarterback position. So I think it's going to be a tough game to win. I wouldn't pick them over Arkansas. I think that we have a better chance of beating Arkansas and potentially Missouri. But I will say I do see where you're coming from with Tennessee. I think it's definitely possible. But Tennessee's got a lot of talent. They've got a lot of talent. They've really done a really, really good job recruiting the last couple of years, and as well in the transfer portal. Josh Heupel, he's one of those guys, one of those younger coaches that has it filled out. And so I really don't think that we're gonna win. I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from though. I like the optimism. I can see that, but if I were to pick one, I would say Arkansas or Missouri.
But it's earlier in the season, like when they play Tennessee, and then when you remember last season what Arkansas did to Mississippi State? I mean, Taylon Green looked like Cameron Newton. Like, he looked unbelievable last season. versus Mississippi State. Now, I mean, this is a different scenario, but like that was at home. However, if Arkansas if they get off to a rough start and at some point they kind of just, because I mean, let me look back at the schedule again. They play them November 1st. So you're talking about the last 4 games. So if Arkansas kind of has the writing on the wall, their coaches leave, you know what I mean? Their coaches retiring, whatever it is. And so I don't know, man. I don't see that the Arkansas thing. I guess I could see happening, but Tennessee to me seems to be the team that's like that makes the most sense, out of all this. But not because like talent they have a ton of. You mentioned that.
Yeah, I will say one more thing. I think if this game was where we played Missouri, like a week before Ole Miss in November, I think we have a legit chance at home to win this game. But I mean, that's our first SEC game, which is not going to help as well. A lot of these guys have not played SEC talent. And so, I mean, I feel like if it was later in the year, I think we would have a better chance. But we got a lot of figuring it out to do. And that's our first SEC game. They're going to be like, oh, wait, hold up. Jamil Burrows is going to be like, hold on, give me a second. So no, I think that I think Arkansas, especially Arkansas being later in the year, again, that's a guy, Sam Pittman. They might think he has a foot out the door as well with him retiring. And so I think that would be really cool. But I think that Tennessee, man, I think they're going to have it going on, especially offensively. Defensively, we just have so many question marks. Like, I don't see how we're going to keep up with their offense.
Yeah. But it's funny for all fans, for all teams in the SEC. Andy Staples, I think it was him who made the point on the Any Given Saturday documentary. He was mentioning that the SEC is just such a funny, and I guess every other conference is just kind of a funny thing because it doesn't matter what last year was like. By the time you hit August, there's so much news. All of a sudden, there's a bunch of optimism. And on the outside perspective, there's not any reason to have optimism if you're a Mississippi State fan. But there are so much optimism. But then you look back and you go, well, I don't know if it should be. But when we interviewed Jeff Lebby in the spring, and Jeff said, at Media Days, and he mentioned that if you watched the games last season, you saw a team of Mississippi State, despite the fact they were outgunned and outmanned, they played really hard, and there was a lot of those games that were competitive. There wasn't a ton of blowouts in the SEC. So you kind of compare that to what it might be, coming up for this upcoming season. All right. Awesome. We're going to take a quick break. We'll hear some messages from MPW Digital. When we come back, I have a question for you when it comes to who's going to lead Mississippi State next year in the receiving corps. Because Anthony Evans is currently slotted to play the slot position for Mississippi State, which is where Kevin Coleman played last season and made in that position. Chad Muffins mentioned this the other day at the assistant coach media days. That's a position where you're just going to get a lot of catches anyway, just because of the kind of how it plays. Anthony Evans, the third, is currently slotted to play that position, but he does not have a lot of production. So when we come back, I'm going to ask you about that and then also ask you about the running back room as well. So stay tuned. You're listening to My Dogs Pod on MPW Digital, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue. We'll be right back after these messages.
All MPW Digital podcasts are brought to you by our friends at Parish Brewing Company, located in the heart of Cajun country in Broussard, Louisiana. Parish Brewing Company's simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it remarkably well. The doctor is introducing their new go-to IPA, Dr. Juice. It's a highly crushable juice bomb, dry hopped with a blend of their favorite hand-selected hops from the Yakima Valley in Washington. Dr. Juice's drinkability is sneaky good, considering it clocks in at 6% ABV. The pour glows a rich cantaloupe hue with a thick frosted haze, soft mouthfeel, an aroma and taste that's full of passion fruit, papaya, and blood orange, making it drink like a glass of freshly squeezed juice. They also have Ghost in the Machine. It's a double IPA brewed with obscene quantities of hand-selected Citra hops from Yakima Valley. Expect pungent grapefruit flavors and aromas, tropical fruit, less harsh bitterness than most IPAs. Again, it's Parish Brewing Company. Wherever you get your beer, check out Parish. Make sure that you look for them, because any beer that you get from Parish is going to be absolutely outstanding. Thank you from MPW Digital. Brought to you by Easy Hemp Company. Easy is a hemp-infused sparkling water. It's a guilt-free alcohol alternative. a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural. Made with real fruit, no added sugar, low calories, gluten-free. One 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of THC. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare and control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. It's easy. Visit easyhempco.com to view the Easy Finder to find Easy near you. Easy is Farm Bill compliant with hemp derived from THC, CBD extracts. Easy is for people 21 and older. Enjoy responsibly.
Welcome back to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue. Austin, Anthony Evans III is playing in the slot, but you got Aiden Williams, you got Jordan Mosley, you got Brennan Thompson, who's a lot of people are talking about. Who do you think is going to lead Mississippi State in receptions this upcoming season?
I'm thinking this, and I'm also hoping this. I hope that it's not one guy that's just really, really leading it with a lot of yards. I hope we're able to just spread it around. One thing I loved about Mike Leach, watching his air raid, man, everybody was getting. I mean, there was 9 wide receivers catching the ball in some games, and that was awesome. I love seeing that. I really hope it's something similar this year because we have so many guys. Again, most of these guys are all unproven. I feel like a good answer would say Anthony Evans, would be Brennan Thompson, but I'm going to say somebody who has already played in this league, played in this team. I'm going to say Jordan Mosley. I think that he's going to have the most catches, and I also think he's going to have the most yards. And I say that because he's not a big run after catch guy, but he can catch the ball, and he has skill, he has talent. He had a training camp last year with Blake Shapen. He had it this year as well. So he's played with Blake Shapen a good bit more than anybody on this roster. And, I would really like to say Brennan Thompson, but I don't know. I mean, Oklahoma wasn't a great team last year, and he didn't really play a lot last year. Same with Anthony Evans. We haven't seen anything from him. And so he could be a guy who, by week 6, he might not even be playing much, or he could be, our most outstanding wide receiver. We just don't know. And, I feel like the safest answer would be Jordan Mosley. And that's who I want to say. I think that Jeff Lebby, again, he's coached under Jeff Lebby, along with Brendan Thompson, but as well as Jordan Mosley. I really like him. He really grew on me last year, especially those first. I don't know if you remember this. Those first 3 or 4 weeks, Jordan Mosley was like wide receiver 1 for us. He was looking really, really good. And then other wide receivers last year stepped up, especially Kevin Coleman, man. He was, that second half of the year, he was so good, so dominant. But yeah, I think if we have Brendan Thompson and Anthony Evans, if they're getting those catches that Kevin Coleman had, and kind of sharing the rock a little bit over there, I think Jordan Mosley's got it.
So, all right, Austin, there's a lot of talk about Brendan Thompson. In his 3 seasons, would you like to guess how many catches he has?
I'm going to say 14.
In his career?
Yeah.
Man. Okay. Well, you had a better guess than I did. 27.
Really? Okay.
27. So he caught last season he had the most catches in his career. So he had 19 catches for 230, 2 touchdowns. The year before that, he only had 7 catches, but he had 240. So he had more yards, 241 yards, averaged 34 yards a catch, and had 2 touchdowns. Would you like to guess at this point how many receptions in 2 years of playing, how many receptions Anthony Evans III has?
Ooh, I know he hadn't played much at all at Georgia. I'm going to say, I want to be right. I'm going to say, I'm saying 2.
2? That's just disrespectful to this young man. No, he has 13.
Okay. Honestly, because I don't remember, I was trying to find highlights of Anthony Evans when he first signed. I remember not being able to find any highlights from his Georgia days. And so that's why I thought it was such a low number. Honestly, I thought Brendan Thompson was lower than that. I thought he just had really big catches, but not a lot of catches. So honestly, I was under on both of those. So honestly, I'm glad that they're getting more reps than I thought they would, which is really, really good. But I thought Anthony Evans almost never touched the field. So that is really good.
You know who he touched the field the most against in his career is actually Mississippi State. Last season, he had a 52-yard run against State, and he also had 4 catches for 41 yards. So his best game in his career came against the Bulldogs. So he must be loving practice right now. But see, that's kind of the hard thing. Like Kevin Coleman did not he was unbelievable last season, but he didn't have that same production when he was at Louisville or Jackson State or any of those things. It's this position. And then he proved like, okay, he can be durable, he can do those things. Like if Anthony Evans, he has talent. So now what if he's put in the same spot as Kevin Coleman and he's able to stay healthy? Like he could explode in that role, but you just don't know. And then I guess there's a part of it that's kind of the reason why some of these guys are at State as opposed to other places. Like again, Kevin Coleman was not a super, like did not show a lot of I think he had 400 yards was his most yards he had in his career at that point. Kelly Akakari was the only person with the most production. He had over 1,000 yards at UTEP when he came to State. So it's not like there's a guy that's coming from another school that has a ton of yards. Aiden Williams never really cracked the lineup. Who else? Jerron Glover, Michigan State. I don't think he almost ever played. I think Cam Thompson at NIU got 300 or so yards, but he's not even being discussed right now. So he might come on later on, but I don't know, man. There's just there is so much unknown with this team that almost anything is a prize and everything's almost a bet in terms of the wide receiver position. What's it's going to be. Lastly, I do want to get your thoughts. Seth Davis, Paul Jones reported at practice the other day. Seth Davis was finally taking some reps. So it looks like he's going to be playing this season as well. What are your thoughts on the running back room?
Man, honestly, that's what I'm most excited for. I mean, Fluff Bothwell, Davon Booth, those two, the duo is. I'm really excited for that. If we can get like second half of the season, Davon Booth, and literally the entire season at South Alabama, Fluff Bothwell, I'm feeling really, really good. Seth Davis is a guy, his freshman year, I was so high on. Last year, obviously didn't play. So this first half of the season, I don't know really how much he's going to play. But I'm really, really excited for him just for in the future because Davon Booth is gone after this year. Fluff Bothwell has a couple more years, but who knows if he's going to stay or not. Seth Davis is a guy that I'm really, really excited about in the future. This year, though, it's the Davon and Bothwell show, man. I'm really, really excited to see them. But we also have guys like Colin Wilson from Gulf Shores. That guy, I think he has a high upside. I don't think he's going to play any running back this year. I think he'll play a lot of special teams. He's very fast. So I think he might be a potential returner on kick returns. But I'm really, really excited for that guy. And then again, Xavier Gayton. Didn't play a whole lot last year, but when he did, showed a little flashes. And so a couple more years, I'm really glad that those guys aren't playing this year and that they can develop because if they're developing under Fluff, under Davon, guys that have proven that they can be good and showing what they're going to do in the SEC. I'm really glad that Seth Davis and them are getting to sit behind those guys because I mean they have a lot of potential. Also, another guy I didn't even talk about, Johnny Daniels, is a guy as well last year who, I mean, I could easily forget because, I mean, he played a good bit, not too much. When Davon
He averaged the most yards per carry.
Wow, that's really, really interesting because he Davon was kind of in and out, fighting injuries and stuff, and so Johnny Daniels really stepped up. And, we didn't really have great running back success last year when Booth was not playing well. And there were a few games where he wasn't playing well. So Johnny Daniels as well is another guy that's played a good amount of football. And that's really, really important. So I think honestly, those 5 guys, I mean, 6 with Colin Wilson too, those 6 guys, I'm really, really excited. They got a lot of upside. If we can just keep those guys in the room for these next 2 or 3 years, we just got to keep them here. And I feel that we have a lot of success running the football in the future.
Yeah, that's going to be that's a big part of Jeff Lebby's offense is running the ball, and so they have several weapons to choose from. So that will wrap it up here, man. Let us know in the comments. Or also comment with us on Twitter. Who do you think is going to lead Mississippi State in receptions? Comment on the schedule, man. If State's going to get a 4th win, every time I say that out loud, I cannot believe I'm saying that. If State's going to get a 4th win, who will it be against? I'm so ready for football to kick off, Austin. We're so close, but it's also like 3 weeks is a long time if you start thinking about it every day, but it's almost there. And also we'll get back to our preview series of kind of previewing each team on Mississippi State's schedule. We move past Florida, and so I'm trying to think of what is next. I want to say, is it Arkansas, the next one? I cannot think. Oh, okay, here we go. It is... let's see. We went through Florida. Okay, there we go. Texas. There we go. It's the Arch Manning show in Starkville. So at Texas, then we'll do Arkansas, Georgia, Missouri, and then Ole Miss. See if we get Neil on for Ole Miss. That'd be fun. Get some real intellect in to be able to see that. So until next time, man, we're so glad Austin is back, and we're so glad the football season has kicked off, man. So thank you guys so much for listening, as always, to My Dogs Pod on MPW Digital, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue. We'll holler at you guys next time.